Hey guys, so in my short, I went over a high-level overview of how an AA test works, and today we're actually going to implement it in code. So just to jog your memory, the scenario was we were the owners of this taco restaurant, and we were deciding should we change the order online button from red to yellow in order to increase our online orders. We would answer this with the A/B test, but before that, we want to run an AA test to make sure that the system performing the A/B test is working properly. So I simulated some data here so we could run our AA test. We have the customer ID, we have this variable called isBigBack, but think of it as a variable describing what type of customer we're working with. So 0 means it's a normal customer, and 1 means it's a big back customer, meaning that they just spend more on average since they order more food. Then we have the spend variable, which is the monthly spend of the given customer. And then we have this has button 1 variable that is 0 when they're assigned to red button number 2 and 1 when they're assigned to red button number 1. Remember, in an AA test, we're assigning customers to 2 groups and they are shown the exact same button. So the first group will be called red button number 2 and the second will be called red button number 1. I'm going to present 2 main results. The first is the results from an AA test where the underlying system running the test is broken. And then we're going to see results of what an AA test would look like when it's actually running correctly. So starting with the broken AA test, let's say under the hood, for some reason, more big backs were being assigned to the button 1 group instead of the button 2 group. So we can see in this graph that the button 1 group has a higher proportion of big back customers compared to the other group. So the groups aren't really comparable. And as a result, since big backs spend more on average in a month, we're going to see that the monthly average user spend for button 1 is going to be greater than button 2. So when we run a t-test, fun fact, a simple linear regression here is equivalent to a t-test. When we run this t-test, we see that the p-value is very close to 0, meaning that there is a significant difference in average user monthly spend between the 2 groups. And if the results are too intimidating for you, we can look at the confidence interval, which is for the difference in average user monthly spend between button 1 and button 2. And we see that the interval doesn't intersect with 0, so this difference is statistically significant. But again, we ran an AA test where we showed the same button to each group. So we would actually expect there to be no difference. But since we are seeing a difference here, this could be a sign that something under the hood is not working in our A/B testing system and we should debug that. And we were able to catch this mistake because of the AA test. So now we're going to look at the results of an AA test where the system was running correctly. So to run correctly, the randomization has to be working correctly, meaning we are randomly assigning customers to the button 1 group and the button 2 group. Because we're truly randomizing, the groups are actually comparable. And we can see they're comparable because the proportion of big back customers is equal in both groups. So since the groups are comparable, when we run our t-test, we should expect there to be no significant difference in average user monthly spend between the groups because we are showing them the same button in an AA test. And when we look at the t-test results, we see that the p-value is 0.33, meaning that the difference in average user monthly spend between the 2 groups is not statistically significant, which is what we expected. And again, we can see this in the confidence intervals because the confidence interval for the difference in average user monthly spend between the 2 groups intersects with 0, meaning that it's not significantly different from 0. So since we got the results we expected from the AA test, this is a sign that the underlying A/B testing system is working correctly. So now we can run a regular A/B test with some confidence that it's going to work properly and our results are trustworthy. That's it for this video. If you want to look at the code, it's in the description below on my GitHub. Otherwise, thank you guys.